Good evening. Welcome to WCTV's coverage of the Division IV North semifinal playoff game. Tonight, the Wilmington Wildcats play the Marblehead Magicians here at Piper Stadium here in Marblehead. Thanks for joining us for tonight's broadcast. It should be a good one. Marblehead comes in with a record of 8 wins and no losses. Wilmington comes in with 7 wins and 1 loss. This should be a great game. The winner of tonight's game goes into the finals next week. We'll be right back right after this message with the opening kickoff of tonight's game. Well, ready for football action tonight. Marblehead High School's Piper Stadium, the semifinal playoff game, Division IV North, between the Wildcats of Wilmington High and the Marblehead Magicians. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Neville. I'll be calling the play-by-play for tonight's game. We have Tom Pizzar and Adam Dusenberry on board to do all the pick up all the camera action on the field tonight. It should be a great game. It was a beautiful day outside today. Temperature in the mid-70s. It's cooled off significantly. Getting very close to being football weather. However, it is very breezy tonight. Marblehead comes in 8 wins, no losses, featuring a very huge and strong quarterback, converted lineman, Andy Clough. And Wilmington comes in with an equally impressive 7-1 record. The only loss so far this year to Melrose early in the season. Melrose won the toss. They have elected to defer until the second half. So Wilmington will be receiving the first half kickoff. And lined up deep for the Wildcats, number 26, John Kenny, number 28, Justin Frazier down deep. Kicking off for Marblehead, Phelan Tinty Kane is the kicker. Places the ball down at the 40-yard line. We're just about ready for action here tonight. Again, very breezy tonight. Marblehead is largely a passing team. We'll see how the wind affects that. Should be a great game. We're ready for play. Steps into the ball. A good kickoff downfield. Taken by Frazier, who takes it at the 20. It's actually knocked down just shy of the 20-yard line. Justin Frazier bobbed with the kick. So Wilmington comes out, 1st and 10 on their own side of the field at about the 18-yard line. A little bit lower camera angle than we're used to here calling the football games, but hopefully we'll be able to pick up all of the action-packed game tonight, and none of my expert cameras will miss any of the big plays. Tyler Roberts and Justin Frazier split wide to the right. Graham Smith in the backfield with Kenny. Inside handoff to Kenny. Actually, Smith keeps the ball, breaks free, picks up about 2 yards, stopped at the 20-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Marblehead has had a great season along with the Wildcats. Again, the only 2 teams that they've played, they beat Wakefield last week in the quarterfinal playoff game by 2 touchdowns. Wilmington comes to the line. Mike Ducharme split wide to the left. Handoff to John Kenny. Stop for no gain at the 20-yard line. Tyrese Hardy in on the tackle for Marblehead. Brings up 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. So Wildcats, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 out to the far left. Smith is back to pass. He's being chased down, pass long and deep downfield. It's broken up. It's actually intercepted at the 48-yard line. Intended for Mike Ducharme. It was tipped up in the air. and taken down by one of the Marblehead defensive backs, so they'll take over first down at the 48-yard line. I'm actually looking at the flag, blowing. Even with a punt, I don't know if Wilmington would have made much more distance on a punt than they did on the interception. So a good start by the Magicians. They come out on offense. Dewey Millette and Derek Marino split wide to the right. Quarterback Andy Clough in the backfield with two running backs. Man in motion, number 22, Clough back to pass, throws a screen pass out to the right. Finds some good running room after the completion down to the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 9 yards. That was to Tim Cronin. So 2nd and 1 for the Magicians. Clough back to pass, lets it go downfield long and deep. It's open but overthrown down at the 5-yard line. John Kenny in coverage on the play downfield for Wilmington. So Clough had no problem getting the ball downfield on that play, but he's throwing with the wind here. Marblehead definitely has the wind advantage in the first quarter. Seamus Keeney comes out wide to the left. Derek Marino in the slot. Clough takes the snap, throws quick downfield, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jack McGrath on the far sideline. Peter Marino in on the coverage. Bailey Smith over there as well. So it's going to be 4th down for Marblehead. So a big play coming up. If the Wildcats can stop the Magicians here, it'll be in good field position. Clough has the ball. He takes it right up the middle, finds a good-sized hole. Taken down after a first down inside the 30-yard line down to the 28. He's listed at about 6'6", 250, and he plays every bit as much as that. Far and away the biggest guy in the field. Jason Valley in on the last tackle. So Clough has one running back in the backfield with him, and man in motion goes right to left. Handoff to the far left to Tim Cronin. Finds some open running room. He's finally taken down by the 15-yard line, just inside the 15. So the Magicians are off to a very good start here so far in the first quarter. 8 minutes showing on the clock. Cronin in the backfield with Clough. Teddy Mayle goes in motion, tight end spot. Number 85, now Derek Marino from right to left. Looks like he's calling an audible at the line. There's a penalty marker in the play, and it's probably going to be a delay of game penalty against Marblehead. So that gives the Wildcats a break. Sets them back 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 15 for the Magicians. Okay, Marblehead comes to the line. Marino split wide to the right, along with Jack McGrath. Clough takes the snap. He's running, and he's stopped. Man, tough to bring down. Stopped on the play by Markin Nerestan and Tyler Roberts for no gain. There are about 4 or 5 Wildcats had their hands on him, but he, as I said, he's a big boy out there. He's going to be tough to bring down all night long. Last week's playoff game, he passed for 2 and ran for 1 touchdown. Magicians have a fairly up-tempo offense. Linemen wait at the line. Seamus Keeney far to the left. Mail in the backfield. Man in motion. Passes downfield. It floats, and it's over the receiver's head, intended for Derek Marino. John Kenny in on the coverage. Brings up 3rd and 15 for Marblehead. So a big play for the Wildcats. They can keep Marblehead from gaining much yardage here. They might be able to hold them on 4th down as well. Even though on a night like tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if the kickers can kick at 35 or 40 yards. Clough calling signals, man in motion, left to right. Handoff to McGrath along the right side. He cuts back, but he's taken down. Nice defensive play on the left side of the defensive line for the Wildcats. I think it was Chris Medeiros looked like he might have been in there with Kyle Kenyon. So it's going to be 4th down for Marblehead, and they will be attempting a field goal of 32 yards. Tinty Kane in as the place kicker. 4th and 12. Snap is down. Ball is up. The kick is good. 32-yard field goal for Tinty Kane puts the Magicians up 3-0 with 5:30 to go in the first quarter. So overall, a good defensive stop by the Wildcats. Marblehead had the ball, took it over in Wilmington territory at their own 47, or at the Wilmington 47. So if nothing else, it has to be a little bit of a savior or appreciation on the part of Coach Turner to be able to hold them to 3 points, taking the ball over in Wilmington territory. Phelan Tinty Kane in to do the kicking for Marblehead. Once again, Kenny and Frazier deep back for Wilmington at the 10-yard line. Pretty good crowd here tonight. The Wilmington side of the field is just about full, and Marblehead also has a good representation as well. Tinty Kane puts his foot into the ball. It's kicked almost down at the goal line. Picked up by Kenny, who comes out to the right, cuts up through the middle, finds a little bit of a hole, and he's down at the 24-yard line. Good return by John Kenny, about 25 yards on the return. So Wildcats come out in their second possession of the first quarter in better field position at the 23-yard line. Duchamp splits out wide to the right. Tommy Robage wide on the, Duchamp left. Robage to the right. Handoff to Kenny around the right side, and he's grabbed by the face mask, and there's no call. Well, I think everybody in the Wilmington sideline saw it, but he's thrown for a loss of a couple of yards. Knocked down at the 20-yard line. The Wildcats would have trouble passing into this wind. I mean, I don't know what the wind speed is, but it's got to be sustained at 15 or 20 miles an hour anyway. So I think we'll see a lot of running from the Wildcats, at least in the first quarter. Robage to the right. Duchamp split wide to the left. Kenny in the slot. And there's another timeout on the field. Penalty marker for delay of game for the Wildcats. Actually, a procedure call against the Wildcats. Puts them back 5 more yards. Second and about 17. Okay, the Wildcats come out. Kenny alone in the backfield. Hands off to Frazier. Finds a big hole up the middle of the field. And he's still moving down to the 35, and he's going to be out for a first down. Great run on some misdirection by John. Well, handoff to Justin Frazier. Brings it out for a first down out to the 37-yard line. Big pickup for the Wildcats, almost 20 yards. So that might be enough to jumpstart the Wildcat offense here. Roberts and Frazier now split out to the right. Smith hands off to Kenny up the middle. He finds about 2 yards of open running room. Taken down about the 39-yard line, 38-39. Couple of big bodies on that Marblehead defensive line. Will Bosworth, number 64, and Aiden McGrath, number 79, right in the middle of that line. So Robage and Duchamp split wide to the left. Frazier and he's looking. Smith is back to pass. Fakes one runner out, one defender out, and he runs down the sideline. Good scrambling ability by Graham Smith on that far sideline. Brings Wilmington another first down out across midfield. Smith's a great all-around athlete. So Robage and Frazier to the right. 2 men in the backfield with Smith now. Roberts and Kenny. Fumble on the play. Smith keeps it, goes around the left end and runs out of bounds. And, okay, there's finally a flag on the play. Smith was clearly out of bounds, and they gave him a good shot right along the sideline. I don't know if it's a... well, there was a flag, but nothing's been marked off on the field. Might have been a sideline violation by Marblehead. Yeah, sideline violation. Marblehead was too close to the field. So that was a warning, apparently first time warning. Wilmington has the ball at the 50. Hand off to Kenny. Tries to get through the middle, squeezes through a hole, gains about 1.5 yards. So they'll bring up third down for the Wildcats. About 13 yards to go. Smith has come off the field, which is not good news for the Wildcats. Wilmington's called timeout. And Christian Robage is going to come in at quarterback for the Wildcats. Sophomore quarterback and defensive back. So we'll see if this Robage keeps it, goes up the middle, gains about 6 yards down to the 44-yard line of Marblehead, but it does bring up fourth down. And the punt team comes on for the Wildcats. So the Magicians hold the Wildcats on this second drive. We have about 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Smith is back in the game to punt. Got to be careful on the snap here with the wind blowing the way it is. Takes the ball, lets it go. Nice kick downfield. Ball comes down at the 22-yard line where it's blown dead. There's a flag on the play. And it looks like there may be a roughing the kicker call against Marblehead, which is going to give Wilmington the ball and a first down. So Smith will stay in the game at quarterback for the Wildcats. 5-yard penalty at an automatic first down to the just inside the 40-yard line of Marblehead. Not sure if we caught the roughing or the running into the kicker, but if we did, you'll see it when the game airs. So Rovage and Frazier on the right. Roberts and Kenny in the backfield. Handoff is to Roberts. And he stopped for no gain. Knocked back for a loss of about a yard. All right, so we're going to have to make a correction on that. The 5-yard penalty did not give Wilmington a first down. It just brought him within closer yardage. So it was 4th down. So now Marblehead has the ball. Took it over at the 41-yard line. That's what happens when you don't have a spotter. So once again, Clough leads his team out toward the end of the first quarter. Back to pass. Lets it go deep downfield. Justin Frazier is on the coverage against Seamus Keeney, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by Frazier on that play. Little too much wind got under the ball on Clough's pass. So it's 2nd and 10 for Marblehead. The 41-yard line. Back to pass again, splits out to the left. It's complete to Tim Cronin for a big gain down to the 30-yard line. Little angst on the Wilmington sideline. The wide receiver on the left side of the line of scrimmage seemed to be holding one of the Wilmington defenders. First down for Marblehead. Handoff up the middle to Tim Cronin. He stopped after a short gain. And we've run to the end of the first quarter. So after 1 quarter in the books, Marblehead 3, Wilmington nothing. We'll be back for second quarter action right after this quick message.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Okay, we're ready for second quarter action now. See if things change up at all with Marblehead now going into the wind. Clough has two guys in the backfield. Hands off to the second man through. Breaks free. Tim Cronin down for a big run into the end zone for a touchdown. Found some good running room off the left tackle. So that brings Marblehead out to a 9-0 lead as Phelan Tinty Kane comes in to take the extra point. Timeout on the field by Wilmington. Not sure if the Wildcats were lined up properly on the defensive side of the ball. All right, 30-second timeout. We're ready for the extra point from Marblehead. Snap, ball is down. A little bit of a high snap, but the kick is good. So, after the first play of the second quarter, Marblehead is out to a 10-0 lead. Kind of a frantic environment here at Marblehead High tonight. There's a little controversy on the sidelines, a couple calls that probably could have gone either way. But Wilmington will be out to take the kickoff. This time Tinty Kane will be kicking into the wind. Frazier and Kenny going back deep for Wilmington. So Tinty Kane is at the 40-yard line, sets the ball up. So again, Kenny and Frazier are down at about the 10-yard line to await the kick. And he steps into the ball, a little shorter than last time. In fact, it's going to fall in no man's land. Kenny grabs it, breaks free from one tackle, but then he's taken down inside the 20-yard line. With the wind up there, they're going to have to move those defenders or the receivers a little bit closer to the kicking team. That ball fell with about nobody within 5 or 8 yards of the ball, which puts the Wildcats once again in difficult starting position here. So we got Mike Ducharme and Robaj split to the left. Frazier and Roberts on the right, handoff up the middle to Kenny, and once again, the middle of the defensive line stops Kenny for no gain. He might have picked up a yard. It appears the Wildcats are trying to keep the Magicians focused on the running game, but pretty soon the Wildcats are going to have to open up, take advantage of some wind. Roberts, Frazier on the right, Ducharme and Robaj on the left. Smith takes a look around, doesn't like what he sees, and calls a timeout. So the Wildcats are a little bit distracted here in the first half of tonight's game. Big game for them after last week's big victory against Gloucester, 30-0. If they win tonight, they'll go to the final game of the Division 4A North playoffs. And the winner of tonight's game will face the winner of the North Reading Melrose game taking place in Melrose tonight. Smith back to pass. He keeps the ball, runs up the middle, finds a big hole up the middle to the 40. He's out to midfield, and he's taken out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Nice quarterback draw by Graham Smith. Picks up a 35-yard gain into Marblehead territory. Once again, Kenny in the backfield. Oh, there's a snap. He wasn't ready for it. The ball is dead. The snap came out, and Graham Smith was not ready for it. Luckily, John Kenny was. So he jumped on the loose ball, recovered it back at the Wilmington 43-yard line. So it's a big loss. 12-yard loss. Brings up a 2nd and 22 for the Wildcats. So 2 wide receivers split on both sides. Fakes the handoff to Kenny, lets the ball downfield. Open is Mike Ducharme, complete inside the 40-yard line. That'll make it a little more manageable on 3rd down. Brings up 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. Nice run by Mike Ducharme. Great protection by the Wilmington offensive line to protect Smith there. Once again, Smith runs up the middle, keeps the ball himself. He's close to a 1st down, maybe a few inches short. We'll find out. They're going to be short by less than a yard, maybe about a foot. So we'll see what Coach Turner's got cooked up here on the sideline. So Smith brings the team out. Kenny in the backfield. Once again up the middle, Graham Smith, and he should have the 1st down. He's down to the 35-yard line. It should be enough. Took a hard hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage. There's going to be an official timeout for a measurement. I mean, the nose of the ball is on the line. I can't see where the yard marker is exactly, but so we're down to just under 8 minutes to go in the 1st half. Big measurement here. If the Wildcats keep control of the ball, they'll be driving. And apparently the Wildcats were kept short by about an inch. Marblehead takes the ball over. I thought I saw Smith cross over the yard marker there at the 35. So once again, the tail of the tape. We'll review it later on, but there's nothing we can do about it now. Magicians take over. Already up 10-0. And with more momentum on their side. All right, a lot of noise on the Wilmington sideline. Not happy with the way the game is being officiated. Clough takes up on the left side, hands off on the sideline to Cronin, who runs for a decent gain, picks up about 5 yards. Knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Brendan Ross comes in. for Dean Nally. Clough calling signals. He keeps the ball himself, goes up the middle, finds a big hole around the left side. He's still going, crosses midfield down to the 48-yard line. He's just a big, bruising kid, and he's very difficult to stop, especially when he starts moving up there. Converted lineman, being recruited by a number of schools. Wilmington, the sideline is called timeout. So I think Coach Turner is going to try to figure out a strategy on what to be looking for when Clough takes the ball. Wildcats have been pushed around pretty good so far in this first half. Regardless who wins tonight's game, Tewksbury has a playoff game tomorrow in about 2.5 weeks. The annual Thanksgiving Day Football Classic. WCTV hopes to be there to cover it that day up at Tewksbury High School. Both teams, as of tonight's game, are coming in at 7-1 records, so it'll probably be a little bit more competitive game than it has in the last few years. And all it is for bragging rights. It doesn't have any effect in the standings, but certainly always a good rivalry, good opportunity for alumni from both schools to get together and socialize and have a good time on Thanksgiving Day. So we're ready for action now. Two wide receivers split out to the right for Marblehead. Man in motion. Clough hands the ball off to the right sideline and knocked out of bounds. Good enough for about a 6-yard gain. That was Eric Faya on the carry. Gain of about 5, we'll call it. Second down for Marblehead. Down at the 43-yard line of the Wildcats. Fayer alone in the backfield with Clough. Calling signals, back to pass, lets it go deep and downfield. Man is open, it's caught, and it's complete inside the 5-yard line. Complete to Jack McGrath down on the sideline. Pat Carroll in the coverage for the Wildcats made a nice tackle, but perfectly thrown ball down the sideline by Clough. So Marblehead is in scoring position again at the, looks like this marked at the 6-yard line down there. Once again, Clough calling signals in the backfield, keeps it himself, goes right up the middle, breaks free, and he's in for a touchdown. Stopped on the initial charge, but then he broke free around right tackle, found a big open gaping hole. And Marblehead is starting to pour it on here in the first half. 16-0 with the extra points still to come. Once again, Tinty Kane in for the extra point. Wildcats got a hand on the last one, but it went through the uprights. This one is good again, I believe. Kick is good, so 7 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half, and Marblehead has jumped out to a 17-0 lead. So Marblehead giving Wilmington a little taste of the medicine they've been dealing out to Stoneham and Gloucester the last couple of weeks. So we'll see if the Wildcats can get on track here. Once again, Kenny and Frazier are going to be back for the Wildcats. This time they will be set up a little shorter than they were last time. down around the 20-yard line. And once again, there's a lot of room between the second layer and the third layer of the kicking team, and this one looks like it's going to be taken by Kenny. Takes it at the 30, cuts to the right, up the middle. He's out to the 40-yard line and brought down at the 42-yard line. So a good return by John Kenny. And see if the Wildcats can get untracked here. So Duchamp and Robage split out to the left. Roberts to the right, handoff on a sweep, jet sweep around the corner, and Frazier's taken down for no gain on the near sideline. Second and 9 for the Wildcats at the 42-yard line. Once again, 4 receivers split out wide. Kenny alone in the backfield. This handoff goes to Frazier again, who cuts up into the middle, picks up about 4 yards out to the 46-yard line. Third and 5 for the Wildcats. So we'll see if the Wildcats can keep this drive alive. Smith again in the shotgun with Kenny in the backfield. Back to pass. Protection's good. Starts to scramble. Keeps running, and he's brought down. He let the ball go at the 40-yard line as he was being dragged down, but I think the whistle had blown. So it's going to be 4th down for the Wildcats, and I'm guessing right now they'll probably go into punt formation again. They did call it an incomplete pass, so they ruled he got it away. So it's 4th and 5. Smith in punt formation, punting the ball away to a single receiver back at the 20-yard line. Kick is away. It's a good wobbly kick taken by Marino. Cuts up the middle. He's taken down just inside the 20-yard line, about the 18. About 8 or 10, 5 or 6 Wildcat tacklers in on the play. So we'll see if the Wildcat defense can put a stop to the Magicians' offense here. Marblehead out at their own 20-yard line. Man in motion, hand off to the left of Marino, finds some running room on the left side, and he's tripped up in a nice tackle. Far sideline, Jason Valley on the tackle. Gain of about 3 yards. So Cronin splits wide to the right. Marino in the slot to the right. Once again, Clough calling signals in the backfield. He's back to pass, splits it out to the right, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage on the play over there. Coverage by Bailey Smith. He had a blocker, but Smith fought through the block and knocked the ball loose. So it's going to be 3rd and about 8 for Marblehead. Big stop here for Wilmington if they can do it. Try to force Marblehead to punt into the wind. Brendan Ross and Paxton Cook come out. Smith comes in at defensive back along with, I think Bailey Smith came in. And there's going to be a timeout on the field called by Marblehead now. Head coach Marblehead High School Jim Rudloff having a conversation with Clough. So we'll see what the Magicians have cooked up in their magic hat. McGrath and Marino again split wide to the right. One receiver wide left. He keeps it up the middle and he's taken down immediately. A nice stop by Paxton Cook and Markin Nerestant on the defensive line for Wilmington. Stop for a gain of about a yard is going to bring up 4th down for Marblehead, and they'll be coming in for punt formation. Kenny is going to be the single back deep for Wilmington. And right now he'll be standing about at the 50-yard line. Again, very windy out here. Kick is away, good kick. Puts Kenny back. And it takes a great Marblehead bounce. Inside the 30-yard line down to the 28. Almost a 60-yard kick for Marblehead. So the Wildcats come out with 3:34 to go in the first half, looking to get the engine jump-started. So they got one wide receiver to the left is Duchamp, 3 wide outs to the right. Smith keeps to the right, sprints out, looks downfield. Pass is dropped. Intended for Tyler Roberts. It was in his arms. He wasn't able to hold on to it. Would have been close to a first down, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 10. The offensive line has given Smith some good protection so far tonight. Always unsung because they're in the middle of the line. It's kind of tough to make up the numbers, but certainly Kyle Kenyon, Mike DeLucia. Hand off to Kenny, finds some running room up the middle, squeaks free for a gain of about 5 yards. Out to the 32, 33-yard line. So the clock runs down close to 3 minutes. 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. Marblehead is up 17-0. Okay, Robage split wide to the right. Frazier in the slot. Duchamp wide to the left. Smith keeps the ball to the right, cuts up to the middle. He's stopped for a short gain. Picks up about a yard or 2 just across the 35-yard line. Actually, one official has it at the 36. Yep. So it's going to be 4th down 4th down again. Wildcats got to punt it away again. So see if Smith can push them back into their the Marblehead Magicians' own side of the field. Stands at his own 22-yard line. Gets the kick away. It's another end-over-end kick. Bounces once, and it gets a great Wilmington roll inside the 20, inside the 10, down to the 5. And it's going to be, don't touch it if it rolls in the end zone. Stopped inside the 1-yard line. Tyler Roberts. So officially that's a 64-yard kick, I think, 63-yard kick. Amazing what the wind can do. But I don't think we can get any closer down to the end zone. Magicians take over inside their own 1. Derek Marino was back for the Magicians. He had an opportunity to field it, but it was kind of a wobbly punt. So initially, it probably was a good decision to let it bounce. But when it took a wild Wilmington bounce, worked out certainly advantageous for the Wildcats. See what Clough does with the ball now, standing about 4 yards deep in his end zone. Passes out to the right. It's incomplete. Intended for Seamus Keeney over on the far left sideline. 2nd and 10 at the goal line for Marblehead. 1:46 to go in the first half. Let's see what Marblehead does here. The Wildcats might take a timeout if they can hold them. Clough holds it, hands off up the middle. He finds a big hole. Big hole up the middle. He's still going to the 15 to the 20. And he's finally taken down at the 21-yard line. 20-yard gain. Wildcats will have to try to figure out something at halftime that can kind of control him when he makes his runs up the middle. Pass is complete to Marino. He runs out of bounds about the 26, 27-yard line. Stopping the play by Graham Smith and John Kenny. Clock is stopped. 27-yard line. Clough fakes the handoff, keeps it again. This time he stopped for a fairly short gain, but outside the 30 for a first down. And Marblehead calls a timeout. 1:12 left to go in the first half. And now that I've finally heard the correct pronunciation of the Marblehead quarterback's last name, I will call him Clough for the rest of the game. Andy Clough, not Clough. So Clough has a single runner in the backfield. Tim Cronin sets up next to him. Back to pass. Pass rush by the Wildcats. It's complete up the middle to Marino. Finds some big running room up the midfield, across into the 46-yard line. Clough drilled the pass to Marino, and it's complete for about a 22-yard gain. Cross midfield. Clock is running with a minute left in the first quarter. Kenny sets up on Marino. It's passed again. It's complete again. The runner's taken down inside the 35-yard line of Wilmington. Completed to Seamus Keeney. So once again, Marblehead's on the drive. Actually, he was knocked out, I guess, at the 37-yard line. So it's going to be timeout for a measurement here. You know, when the ball goes out on the sideline and they reset it, it's kind of hard to measure accurately. But I guess we'll try it. Dean Nally comes into the defensive line to give Kyle Kenyon a breather. And it's short of the first down by about 3 inches. So Marblehead will have the ball second down and 3 inches. The Wildcat 37. Marblehead will also be receiving the second half kickoff. So once again, Marino and McGrath split wide to the right. Cronin in the backfield with Clow. Handoff up the middle to Cronin. He stopped about a 5-yard gain. Stopped just outside the 30-yard line. Jason Valley in on the tackle. 44 seconds left in the first half. Clow holds it back to pass. Complete on the right-left sideline. Taken down for a short gain. And a timeout. Teddy Mayle on the catch. Picked up a few yards. That pass has been open a good part of the night. So now Mayle comes out on the slot on the right. McGrath split wide on the right. Clow alone in the backfield again with Tim Cronin. Seamus Keeney split wide to the left. Back to pass. Pressure by the Wildcats. He sprints out, finds some room, lets it go downfield, and it's going to be broken up in the end zone. Good attempt, but great defense. Like Justin Frazier and John Kenny defending the pass against Marino. Marino's another big kid down there. He's probably about 6'2", 6'3". Got good hands. Ball was deflected, and fortunately for the Wildcats, it was broken up. So we're down to 21 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd and 5 for Marblehead. And they call another timeout to talk it over. So if I had a color analyst here right now, I would say, what do you think Coach Turner's going to do for the second half? I guess I got to try to figure that out myself. Obviously, they got to try to figure out a way to deal with Andy Clow. He's got great speed when he hits the outside. Had an incredible touchdown run last week of over 50 yards down the left sideline. Wind is still steady here, so it'll definitely have an effect on the second half of tonight's game as well. So the officials call the play back to action. Ball rests at the Wilmington 27-yard line. 3rd and 5 for the Magicians. Once again, Marino and McGrath are split wide on the right. Clow's calling signals. Extra man jumps in the backfield, Teddy Mayle. Clow calls an audible at the line of scrimmage. Hands the ball off, fumbled briefly by Mayle, but he keeps going. He's brought down. Looks like it's enough for another first down for Marblehead. It's pretty close. Once again, timeout by Marblehead with 13 seconds left in the first half. Actually, that play was stopped short of the first down, so it's going to be 4th down for the Magicians. And from here, it looks like the ball's about the 21-yard line. So a big stop here for Wilmington if they can do it. They certainly don't want Marblehead to get back on the board again, especially with 13 seconds left in the first half. It's been a great season so far for the Wildcats. They've certainly hung into some adverse conditions. You know, winning the first 3 and then taking a tough setback to Melrose, the 4th game of the season, but they've been all wins since then. So we'll see if they can turn things over in the second half. So Clow brings the team out. Cronin and Mail in the backfield with Clow. 4th and 1, big play. Hands it off up the middle with a big gain up the middle, and it's another touchdown. Hand off to Tim Cronin right up the middle. Excuse me, big touchdown run. 21 yards right up the middle of the field. So Tinty Kane in again for the extra point. There's a whistle in the play prior to the snap. Got a good leg on him. It's probably illegal procedure by Marblehead. Won't make much difference here the way he's been kicking the ball so far tonight. Guess we had to retrieve the ball down in downtown Salem where the last kick went. So Tinty Kane is ready. There's the snap. Ball is down. The kick is up, and it is good once again. Not as far this time, but good just the same. And we go back to finish the first half with about 7 seconds left. Marblehead is now up 24-0 over the Wildcats. So unfortunately, the Wildcats weren't really able to take advantage of the wind in the second quarter tonight. So there's probably enough time for the kickoff, maybe one play, but we'll see how it goes. The clock shows 7 seconds. And the Wildcats are finding themselves in a unusual position tonight. So once again, the Magicians line up, the 40-yard line. Kenny and Frazier back again deep for the Wildcats. Tinty Kane comes to the ball, kicks a low squib kick, taken by Kenny at the 27-yard line, cuts up, finds some running room out to the 35 where he's taken down. And don't know if we'll get one more play in before the end of the half or not. I think at this stage of the game, take a knee might be the wise decision. Hand off up the middle to Kenny. Finds some good running room around the right end. He's almost tripped up at the 40. Cuts across mid 40 to about the 44-yard line, where he's taken down. And that brings us to the end of a first half full of Marblehead with not much for the Wildcats. So the score at halftime, Marblehead is 24, Wilmington nothing. Hoping for a little second half comeback by the Wildcats. As we get ready to go to a break here, we will be coming back for second half action here at Marblehead's Piper Stadium right after this. Well, welcome back to second half action here at Piper Stadium in Marblehead. Division IV North semifinal football game between the Wildcats and the Marblehead Magicians. First half was all Marblehead. They're out to a 24-0 lead at halftime. Wilmington will be kicking off to start the second half, kicking into the wind, so they'll have the wind with them during the fourth quarter of tonight's game. Certainly one-sided first half. Wilmington didn't get a chance to move the ball very much, and they had a very hard time stopping Adam Clow, the 6'6", 250-pound quarterback for the Magicians. Adam Bishop steps into the ball, and it's a squib kick. And I think Wilmington has recovered it. Tyler Roberts at the 49-yard line. So maybe the fortunes have changed for Wilmington. There's no question that Roberts came down with the ball just over midfield. The ball went the required 10 yards. Oh. I wish we had the ability to play it back. Got a lot of verbiage on the Wilmington sideline here. A lot of it is probably justifiable. But certainly I can see why the Wildcat sideline is not very happy. And I try to be pretty impartial in the way I call the ball game, but that certainly looked, Roberts was certainly the Marblehead 49 when he took the ball out of the air. And once we sort it out on the field, we'll have a little better idea what's going on. Well, we certainly had the camera angle for it. So when we review it next week, I suspect we'll be able to definitively say that Roberts had the ball in his hands after the allotted 10 yards. So Marblehead will take over the ball, 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Clow in the backfield again with Tim Cronin. Maley comes back in the backfield. Passes downfield, and it's incomplete. Tended by Marino. Good coverage in the play by Kenny. It was in Marino's arms. He just dropped it. And immediately taken down by John Kenny. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line. Mail in the background, in the backfield again. Clow keeps it, goes up the middle for 5 yards. Stopped by a host of tacklers. Kyle Kenyon, Jason Valley, Tyler Roberts, all in on the tackle. 3rd and 5 for Marblehead. It's almost at a point where if he puts his mind to doing something, it's going to be very difficult for the Cats to stop him. And he's got plenty of other weapons as well, especially Marino at wide receiver. There's another flag on the play, and it's against maybe a warning against the Wilmington sideline. Head coach Craig Turner is being warned to stay in the coach's box. It's only a sideline warning on this one, but once again the coaches are telling the players to make sure they stay behind the lines. Marino in motion to the right. Clow, hands off. Good pursuit by the Wildcats, and he's taken down for no gain. Handoff, I think, was Tim Cronin. Stop for no gain, so it's going to be 4th and 5 for Marblehead. So John Kenny goes back and to receive the punt. Down at about the 15-yard line. Kick is away. Angled out of bounds, and it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to stay in bounds. Takes a Marblehead roll down to the 10-yard line, just inside the 10-yard line where it's downed. So Clow gets about 40 yards on that punt. The Wildcats will come out 1st and 10 for their first possession of the second half. All the calls so far tonight have gone against the Wildcats, and I think it really has kind of knocked them off their game a little bit. So Roberts and Robage split wide right. Frazier and Ducharme split wide left. Roberts comes back in to the backfield. Smith is back to pass, sprints out. He's being chased. He lets the ball go. It's incomplete. Threw it away down the sideline. He had backside pressure in the end zone. He's just able to get it away. Little conversation on the sideline with the back judge and head coach Craig Turner. Probably something else to do with his conversation with the quarterback, which has been tolerated almost all year. Kind of looks like they're not allowing it tonight at all. Okay. Smith in the backfield. In the end zone, he keeps it, goes up the middle, finds some good running room. He's out to the 15-yard line where he's finally stopped. Picks up about 8 yards. Can't really see the sideline marker from here, but it looks like a 3rd and 2. Still a breezy night tonight at Piper Stadium. I'm sure the Wildcats will like to chew up at least another first down. Hand off to Frazier. He sprints to the left, makes the corner, finds some running room downfield, and he's good for a first down out to the 25. Jet sweep along the left tackle. Gained about 10 yards, and Wilmington certainly needed that to start off the second half. So once again, Frazier and Roberts split wide to the right. I think Ducharme and Frazier on the left. Smith in motion to the right. Scrambles. He's being dragged down. He throws it away as he's being dragged down. Incomplete pass. Marblehead has stepped up their quarterback pressure here in the second half. Second time Smith has been pressured. So it brings up 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats at the 25. Once again, the winner of tonight's game will go on to face tonight's winner of the North Reading Melrose game down at Melrose High School. Handoff to Kenny along the right tackle. Cuts back. Finds a little bit of running room, maybe 2 or 3 yards. He's out to the 20, actually he's out to the 30-yard line, so he actually picked up about 5 yards. Going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Looks like Kyle Kenyon might be a little banged up on the offensive line for the Wildcats. Stays in the game. Roberts in the backfield with Smith. Handoff to Kenny up the middle, and once again he's going to be stopped for a little gain. Shy of the 1st down, out to the 32, 33-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down for Wilmington. And it looks like Coach Turn is thinking about going for it. So ball is deep in Wilmington territory. Looks like the Wildcats will either go for it or they'll try to draw the Magicians offside. So Ducharme splits wide out on the far left. Robage on the right. Handoff to Kenny. Blocking downfield, and it looks like he made it. Just squeezes through enough for the 1st down unless there's another disadvantageous marking by the officials. And finally, the officials are signaling 1st down for Wilmington. There's a very animated conversation on the sideline in the Wilmington stands. Both the students and the parents that are watching it from the Wilmington sideline have had a lot of disagreements with the officiating tonight. And I would speculate that Coach Turner probably is a little disenchanted as well. Connor Benoit split wide to the right. Inside shovel pass to Tyler Roberts. He picks up about 4 yards. Almost 5 yards on the carry out to the 45-yard line. So Wilmington continues the drive that they started inside their own 10-yard line. The ball's now out to the 40. 2nd and about 6. 3 wide receivers right for the Wildcats. Smith sprints out to the right, looks downfield, lets the ball go. It's complete to Roberts for almost a 1st down. Ball was complete out to the 46. That's where the down marker is, so we'll see if that's enough for a 1st down. Looks like it might be, well, it's going to be close. Another timeout for an official measurement. So once again, we want to welcome and thank you for joining us for tonight's telecast on WCTV. And if you want to watch the game once again in high definition, it is a 1st down for the Wildcats. If you want to watch the game in high definition anywhere in the world, go to the website, WCTV.org. Click on the on-demand button, and you can watch all of this year's home games in addition to tonight's game in high definition. So the Wildcats have a 1st down out to the 46-yard line. 3 wide receivers split out wide to the right. Kenny in the backfield with Smith. Fakes the handoff to Smith. He lets the ball go downfield, and it's broken up. Intended for Ducharme down at the Marblehead 40-yard line. Broken up in the play by Jack McGrath by the Magicians. So the Wildcats will have 2nd and 10. A little more spunk shown in the Wilmington offense in the 2nd half so far, going into the wind. Technically, still a 3-score game, even though you need 3 2-point conversions at this point. So Roberts alone on the right. Once again, 3 receivers split wide to the left. Smith back to pass, sets up a screen, pass to Kenny. He's got some running room out to the 50, crosses midfield to the 45, and he's down for a first down inside the 45-yard line of Marblehead. Knocked out of bounds at the 42. Well-designed screen pass set up. So once again, Kenny alone in the backfield with, Smith, complete to Roberts, who keeps on his feet inside the 30-yard line. That should bring up another first down for the Wildcats as they continue to move the ball here. 4:27 to go in the third quarter. Wildcat offense finally showing some signs of life here. Smith and Kenny in the backfield. Handoff to Kenny up the middle. Goes forward for about 3 or 4 more yards. Stopped at about the 26-yard line. We're at the stage of the game where the Wildcats are definitely in 4-down territory. Smith back to pass. Lets it go to Roberts. It's complete. He gets his feet knocked out from underneath him around the 21-yard line. Good pass and catch. Picked up about 5 yards on the play. Down to the 21. It's going to be third and about 2. Handoff for Frazier again on the outside. He finds some running room. He's inside the 20. It looks like he's probably got enough for a first down. Taken down the far sideline by, I'm going to try this, Obina Okereke, defensive lineman for the Magicians. If I got it wrong and you're watching Obina, I'm sorry. So it's first down for the Wildcats now. At about the 16, 17-yard line. Smith rolls out to the right, looks downfield. Good blocking. He decides he's going to keep the ball. He lets it go finally, and it's almost intercepted inside the 5-yard line, but then the ball popped loose. Seamus Keeney down in the coverage down there with Derek Marino. I'm not sure whose hands it came off of. But the ball does fall incomplete. The Wildcats will keep control of the ball at the 18-yard line. Oh. So it's again 3 wide receivers split out wide to the right. Ducharme on the far side of the field. Smith back to pass. Good blocking by the Wildcats, but it breaks down. Open in the sideline is Connor Benoit. He's got it to 10 and 5. Touchdown! Connor Benoit found himself open along the left sideline, and he scores a touchdown for Wilmington. Markin Nerenstant had a great block on the offensive line for the Wildcats there that enabled Smith to scramble free. Found a little bit of running room, and believe it or not, there's a penalty on Wilmington on the play. Downfield. It must have been on the run after the catch. So we'll call the touchdown back, but Wilmington still has the ball. It must have been near the end zone. The ball's moved back out to the 12-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 5 for the Wildcats. Once again, back to pass. Steps up, scrambles, finds a little bit of room, lets it go toward the end zone. I can't tell if it's a touchdown. No call in the field yet. Looks like it was out of bounds in the end zone. It's a long distance away from where we're standing, but apparently the ball was caught out of bounds. So now we're 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. 2:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. Once again, 3 receivers split wide to the right for the Wildcats. Smith passes downfield, it's complete, inside the 5, and it's almost to the stop, just shy of the goal line. I think Mike Ducharme grabbed the ball there. And he's just outside the goal line. I believe he's inside the 1-yard line. So the Wildcats finally driving here. The ball at the 1. 3 wide receivers out to the left. Handoff up the middle to Kenny. And we still don't have a signal from the officials. Touchdown. John Kenny squeezes in from 1 yard out, and the Wildcats are finally on the board. So that was a great drive. The Wildcats took the ball about 92, 93 yards. And it's capped off with a 1-yard touchdown run by John Kenny. The Wildcats will be going for 2 points here. Technically still a now a 2-score game if they can put the ball in the end zone here. Smith runs out to the right, passes incomplete. Intended for Connor Benoit in the end zone. So the attempt it fails. Wildcats at least are on the board. And with 1 minute and 49 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, Marblehead is up 24-6. So whatever Coach Turner talked about at halftime, a little bit of it must have sunk in. Wildcats came out, played very confidently. Certainly appears they decided to abandon some of the running game and focus on the passing game for the second half. Excuse me. So we'll see how the Wildcats do on the next drive when Marblehead takes the ball over. Adam Bishop comes out for the second time tonight to kick off for the Wildcats. And Derek Marino, the all-around dependable wide receiver and, reliable player for the Magicians, is deep back for the Magicians at the 20-yard line. Set up kind of a banana kick. Bishop sends it sideline toward the sideline and is recovered. Wilmington recovers it on a fumble by Marblehead. Tyler Roberts picks up the loose ball. And once again, Wilmington has some life at the 40-yard line of Marblehead. I think Teddy Mayle had his hands on the ball. And when he was trying to cover it, he was hit by a couple of Wilmington defenders. The ball came loose. Tyler Roberts jumped on it. And once again, Wilmington is back in the driver's seat at the 40-yard line. So Roberts and Frazier wide to the right. Benoit and Ducharme wide left, back to pass. Smith holds it, lets it go deep downfield. Frazier's got it down the sideline. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Justin Frazier takes a 40-yard touchdown pass down the sideline, and the Wilmington Wildcats are back in this game. Frazier did a great job tiptoeing along the sidelines. And we've certainly seen a dramatic change in the tempo of the game tonight. So once again, the Wildcats will be going for a 2-point conversion. Frazier and Benoit split wide to the right. Smith rolls out to the right, pressure's on. He looks in the end zone, throws it, and it's complete in the end zone. Justin Frazier again takes the 2-point conversion. And the Wildcats have narrowed the game to 24-14. And you can feel the momentum change here at Piper Stadium. The sideline is alive, the stands are alive. And we're still in the third quarter, 1:36 to go. And Wilmington scored 2 touchdowns in the span of about 20 seconds. So Bishop tees the ball up again at the 40-yard line, anticipating another squib kick. And don't forget, the Wildcats will have the wind in their favor for the fourth quarter when we start. Timeout on the field, called by one of the officials. I believe it's a Marblehead timeout. They might have had a player missing on the kick return team. I think back to the first drive after halftime when Tyler Roberts picked up the ball out of midair just across midfield, and the official said the ball didn't go 10 yards. Might have had another effect on the game. So Bishop ready to step into the ball. Moves up on it, kicks it away. Another squib kick down the sideline. And the ball carrier is taken down at the 42-yard line. Peter Marino in on the stop. And the Wildcats have some life now. We'll see if they can put a stop to Andy Clow's running. So Marblehead takes over at their own 44-yard line. Tim Cronin back in the backfield with Andy Clow. Calling signals, 1st and 10 at their own 44. Marino in motion. Looks back. He's rushed. Passes downfield. And it's incomplete. Great coverage on the play by Connor Benoit. Ball was intended downfield for Teddy Mayle. Down at the 30-yard line, 25-yard line. Benoit in great coverage. 2nd down and 10. See if the Wildcat defense can hold the Magicians again on the Magicians side of the 50-yard line. Keeney split wide to the left. Marino again in the slot. Clow hands off. They're on the left sideline. In the backfield, Tyler Roberts stops the ball carrier, Tim Cronin, for a big loss. So it's going to be 3rd and 13 for the Magicians at the 41-yard line. Tyler Roberts is a bulwark on the offense and the defense. He's able to get by the left tackle and catch the running back in the backfield. 3rd and 13. Clow fakes it, takes it up the middle himself, finds some running room. He's out to the 49-yard line. He stopped short of the first down. .22 seconds to go in the third quarter, and now the Magicians have to make a decision. Fourth and 4. And they will go into punt formation. Mason Poisson in punt formation, and we have a timeout. Timeout on the field called by Wilmington. Actually, there's no timeout. It's the end of the third quarter. Time has run out. And this will force Marblehead to punt into the wind here in the fourth quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, Wilmington is trailing the Magicians 24-14. We'll be back for the fourth quarter action right after this.
Do I do battery change?
Andy Clow in for the kick. Into the wind, it comes down, it's down at the 22-yard line as we start the fourth quarter here at Marblehead High School in Division 4 North semifinal football. Wildcats have taken momentum away from the Magicians in the second half so far, scoring 2 touchdowns. And they take the ball over again at their own 23-yard line with the wind behind them. Once again, 3 receivers split out wide to the right for the Wildcats. Mike Ducharme is wide to the left. Hand off to Kenny off right tackle. He finds some good running room down the sideline. Good for a first down across the 35. Taken down at the 37-yard line. One of the Marblehead defenders, in fact, Derek Marino, is kind of slow to get up over there. So first down yardage for the Wildcats, and they break the huddle again. 3 wide receivers to the left. Hand off to Kenny in middle, finds some running room up the middle. Out to the 42-yard line, picks up another 5 yards. Momentum has certainly shifted to the Wildcats' favor. Kenny alone in the backfield with Smith. Hand off again to Kenny up the middle, finds some great running room, and he's good for another first down. Out to the 47-yard line, and the Wildcats continue to drive. Out to the 48-yard line. Good offensive line blocking by the Wildcats is opening up some good holes for the Wildcat running backs, especially John Kenny. Fakes the handoff to Kenny, lets it go ball deep downfield, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Roberts downfield, was overthrown. Derek Marino in the coverage from Marblehead. The ball will come back to midfield with the Wildcats facing 2nd and 10. A lot of energy on the Wildcat sideline and in the stands right now. Smith back to pass. Pressure's good. Incomplete. Intended for Kenny on a screen. Ball falls incomplete. Could have been intercepted by one of the defenders. Bounced off one of the receivers, one of the Wildcats. So now the Wildcats are faced with 3rd and 10 from their own 48-yard line. And the Marblehead sideline comes alive, trying to get their team back into it. 3 receivers split wide to the right for the Wildcats. Smith keeps it, goes up to the middle, bounces off a tackle, but then he's stopped about the 49-yard line of Marblehead. So it's going to be 4th. Maybe, I guess his knee went down at his own 49-yard line, so there was no gain on the play, or maybe a gain of a yard. And it looks like the Wildcats might go for it again on 4th down. So big play coming up. 3 receivers wide right for the Wildcats. Smith back to pass. Protection is pretty good. He sprints out to the right, sprints to the right, lets the ball go downfield. It's complete to Connor Benoit. First down inside the 40-yard line. A big 4th down pickup. Smith has been scrambling a lot. The offensive line has done a great job protecting him, but he's also done a great job staying away from the pressure coming from the backside. So the Wildcats have another first down at the Marblehead 39-yard line. The drive continues. 8:13 to go in the game. Pass is complete to Kenny, who finds some running room, but he's taken down on a nice tackle. Tyrese Hardy on the tackle after a short gain. If Kenny could have broken that tackle, it would have gone for about 10 yards anyway. Picks up about 2 or 3. Well, maybe 1. That was a good tackle by Hardy. Kenny is so shifty. Hardy did a good job to stay with him. Smith out in the flat again to Benoit. Finds some running room. And he's down close to the 30-yard line. Looks like it's going to be close to a first down. Might be a yard short. Wildcats definitely in 4-down territory again. Looks like the officials have called a timeout. Not sure why there's a timeout. Looks like another disagreement by the Wildcat sideline. All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 1 for Wilmington at the 30-yard line. So Ducharme on the wide left, Benoit in the slot. Smith calls signals, rolls out to the right, throws it downfield. It's complete on the sideline to Tyler Roberts. Good for a first down at the 22-yard line. And the momentum stays on the side of Wilmington. So the drive continues. Kenny alone in the backfield again with Smith. Handoff to Kenny through the left tackle. He squirts forward, and he's back just across the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard or 2 on the carry. Ball is down at the 20-yard line. Inside handoff to Frazier. He finds a little bit of running room, but he's taken down on a nice tackle. 1-yard gain taken down by Aiden Gillis from the Magicians. That play worked earlier. It looks like they're going to call it no gain. I think the Wildcats will like to move it in a little bit closer, if nothing else, for a field goal attempt. Robertson's Frazier now split wide to the right. Benoit and Ducharme on the left. This time Smith goes to the left. He scrambles. He's still looking around. He looks downfield. Man is open and it's knocked away. Great defensive play by Derek Marino on the defensive side, intended for Mike Ducharme, who was open. There's a lot of noise on the other sideline. And we're going to have a timeout. Looks like Graham Smith might have got shaken up a little bit on the sideline. And it looks like Wilmington might try a field goal here. Tristan Champa comes into the hold for Adam Bishop, who's going to try a 35-yard field goal, 36-yard field goal. The wind will be helping significantly. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is short. It's good. It made it over the crossbar, and the Wildcats have narrowed it to a one-touchdown lead. 36-yard field goal by Adam Bishop. What a gutsy play. So with 5:49 left in the game, it's now a one-touchdown ball game. Marblehead leads 24-17. Looking down on the sideline, Graham Smith's taking a little bit of fluid down there. He got knocked around pretty good in the last play. Ducharme was open on the pass downfield just before the field goal, but a great defensive play by Derek Marino, knocked the ball down at the last second. So Wilmington will be kicking with the wind. Teeing the ball up again is Bishop, the hero, at the 40-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go in the game. Certainly the tale of two halves right now. It was 24-0 at halftime. Marblehead completely dominated the first half, and thus far, Wilmington has completely dominated the second half. Adam Bishop in. Ball is teed up or set sideways at the 40-yard line. Steps into it. Another squib kick. The ball's loose, but it's taken by one of the up men for the Magicians. Teddy Mayle grabbed the ball at the 44-yard line. That's where Marblehead will take over. The ball is set at the 45-yard line of Marblehead. So we'll see if the Wildcat defense can hold Marblehead one more time. See if Andy Clow, the quarterback, can pull a rabbit out of his hat. Millette and Marino split wide to the right, handoff up the middle, and he's stopped for no gain. Tim Cronin stopped for no gain or a loss of 1 yard by the Wilmington interior defense. Paxton Cook, Kyle Kenyon, and Brendan Ross look like they were all in on that play. Mark and Nerenstadt in the middle there. So second and just over 10. Clow is back to pass. He lets the ball go downfield, and it's going to be complete on the sideline. Gain for about 5 or 6 yards. It's going to be stopped at about the 49-yard line of Marblehead. The clock will stop. Going to be 3rd and about 5 or 6. 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats. Players coming in from the sideline for Marblehead. You just look at number 87, Andy Clow. He's just such a big kid. See if they choose to throw it here and stop the clock with an incompletion, or if they're going to run. We'll see. Clow inside handoff, and it's going to be stopped shy of a first down. Jason Valley, Paxton Cook, and Brendan Ross all in on the tackle. It's going to be 4th down for Marblehead, and they're going to have to punt it away from midfield. And once again, the momentum is in the Wildcats' favor. Just got to make sure they don't jump offside here. Clow back to punt formation from the 38-yard line. Kenny is back by himself, standing at his own 15. And there's a whistle in the play. A timeout is called by Marblehead. Looks like they had a player not on the offensive line of scrimmage. Okay, we're ready for the action now. 4th and 4 for Marblehead. Clow punting away. Gets the ball away. Picked up by Kenny at the 20. Sprints out to the left. And he's basically wrapped up. Picked up about 2 yards. Stopped at the 21, 22-yard line. And we have a Marblehead player down on the field. So we'll have an injury timeout. But the Wildcats have life. Clock shows 3:34 to go in the game, and it's a 7-point lead, 24-17. Magicians lead the Wildcats. But the Wildcats are 80 yards away from pay dirt. Once again, Marblehead completely dominated the first half of the game. Wildcats have shown strong conviction to come back at this point to be one touchdown down with a little over 3 minutes left in the game. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 on the left. Hand off to Kenny across the right tackle. He stopped for a gain of about 2 yards. Host of tacklers on the Marblehead defensive sideline. John Kenny is a little slow to get up. All the credit in the world to these guys for keeping their heads in the game, being down 24-0 at halftime. Now there's 2 wide receivers split on either side. Graham Smith back to pass. Finds a little bit of pressure. He still looks downfield. He starts run with it, and he's down out of bounds near the 30-yard line. It's going to be just shy of a first down. Why don't we reset that? He stepped out of bounds at the 24. I guess he went out before he angled off the sideline there. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 7 for the Wildcats. Clock continues to tick. 2:51 left in the game. Magicians only sending 3 guys in pass rush. So now the 3 wide receivers are split out to the left. Back to pass. Pass rush is coming. It's complete to Roberts. He's got a first down, and he's out to the 38-yard line. The drive continues. So the Wildcats have the ball at their own 38, 1st and 10. 2.5 minutes left in the game. Ducharme and Benoit come out to the left. Roberts split wide to the right. Frazier in the slot. Inside handoff to Frazier. He's got a little bit of running room. Picks up another 7 yards. Out to the 46-yard line, 47-yard line, picks up about 8 or 9. It looks like it's going to come down to the last few seconds of the regulation here. Back to pass to Smith. Pressure starting to come. He dodges one tackler, looks downfield, dodges another. Still sprints out at the 40, lets the ball go. It's complete on the sideline. Another first down for the Wildcats. Complete to Justin Frazier. Down to the 45-yard line of Marblehead. And it looks like it might be Smith down on the sideline. There's going to be timeout in the field. Graham Smith is down. I'm going to guess a cramp. But not sure if his night's going to be over. Yeah, he's got a cramp in his right leg. He's done a lot of running back there in the backfield. I think some of our sideline helpers have been a little bit lax in getting the water out. The trainer's looking at Smith over on the far sideline, trying to stretch out that cramp. The Wildcats do have the ball first down and 10, but it does look like Chris Robage is going to come in at quarterback here for the next series. Clock is showing 1:47. 24-17. Incredible comeback by Wilmington in the second half tonight. Why don't we take a moment here for a quick station break? That's what they used to say in the old days, right? And as soon as we get some word on Graham Smith, we'll be right back to the action. We'll be right back.
You're watching WHS Football, WHS Sports TV.
Okay, we're back. Graham Smith is on the sideline. Looks like he's definitely cramped up. Looks like his night is over. Chris Robage is at quarterback now for the Wildcats. Handoff is fumbled to Kenny. He picks it up, sprints out wide to the left. He's going to be taken down for a loss. Loss of about 7 or 8 yards, and it's going to be timeout for Wilmington. We're down to the last minute and a half in the game. It's been a valiant comeback for the Wildcats. Want to certainly single out the Wildcat offensive line that don't get enough credit. Connor McKenzie down there, Chris Medeiros, Kyle Kenyon. See if I can pick out a couple other numbers while they're down there in the middle of the field. It's been a great game thus far. Minute and a half to go. Wildcats are down. The ball's at midfield, and the Wildcats are down by 7 points. And backup quarterback Chris Robage is in the game. I didn't mention Markin Nerenstadt, not only on the offensive line, but linebacker. Played a solid game both ways tonight. So let's see what the coach has cooked up here. 2nd and 17 for the Wildcats. Robage back to pass, looks downfield. And it's incomplete downfield. Intended for Benoit, down about the 30-yard line. So 2 more cracks, and Graham Smith has come back into the ball game. What a tough kid. Looks like it runs in the family. Back to pass. Looks downfield. Man is open and it's incomplete. Intended again for Connor Benoit. Went off the one of the defender's hands. Was almost intercepted, but it brings up a 4th down for Wilmington. 4th and 17 at midfield. Last chance for the Wildcats. Minute and 18 seconds left in the game. Has to be a pass play. And Wilmington has called another timeout. I think at this point, Graham is having difficulty even walking on that right leg. If he has to scramble, I'm not sure that he can. It's been a great game. I mean, okay, so just about set. 4th down for Wilmington. This will be their last gasp chance. Mike Duchamp, Tommy Robage split wide to the left. Tyler Robinson, Justin Frazier split wide to the right. Smith back to pass. Pressure's on. Runs out to the right. Lets it go downfield. And it's intercepted. Intercepted by Tim Cronin. It comes back down the sideline. And he's taken out of bounds across midfield. And that should be the game. Couple players down on the field. So it's been a heroic effort, a heroic second half effort by the Wildcats to make it a competitive game. Marblehead is up 24-17. It kind of looks like that's the way the game will end. There's going to be a penalty marched off against Marblehead on the return. Going to bring the ball back to the 35-yard line. Couple of Wilmington players shaken up on the play. I think it's Chris Medeiros down at the 40-yard line. And I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like the Wildcats may still have the ball. Apparently it was a flag on the play. It might have been pass interference or something else. So I have to kind of rewrite the script here, Adam. Wildcats. It is Chris Medeiros coming off the field with some help. But the Wildcats now have the ball at the 35-yard line of Marblehead with 1 minute and 4 seconds left. There's going to be a lot of very sore kids at the end of this game tonight. So never say never die for the Wildcats. 3 wide receivers right. Roberts split wide to the right. Ducharme wide to the left. I'm guessing it was a personal foul, a pass interference in the last play. We'll see it in replay. Hand off to Kenny, splits wide to the right. Goes across right tackle, taken down at the 30. Picks up almost 5 yards. And there's another timeout on the field. She picked up only 3 yards on that play. Clock is ticked under a minute, 56 seconds showing. So again, Graham Smith basically playing on one leg at this point with cramping up. There's a lot of noise on both sides of the field. Smith out to Connor Benoit. He's got the ball, and he's going to be taken down for a loss, the 35-yard line. Another penalty on the play. So there'll be another timeout on the field. Not sure what this is. Might be holding against the Wildcats. Look like they might have had Justin Frazier, who was out blocking for the Wildcats, might have got called for the hold. Going to bring the ball back. Another 10 yards, bring it back out close to the 40-yard line. Outside the 40-yard line, out to the 44. The clock is running, 40 seconds left. Second and about 22. Smith back to pass, pressure's on. He lets it go deep downfield, nobody open, and it's going to be intercepted at the 4-yard line. Intercepted by Seamus Keeney of Marblehead. And the Wildcats' last-ditch effort has come to an end. So certainly a valiant effort by the Wildcats, but the Magicians will take over at their own 5-yard line with only 26 seconds showing on the clock. Great effort, great comeback. Coming back from 24 points down, they've made it a game, 24-17. And I expect that the Magicians will just take a knee. Quarterback Andy Clow is in the game. It's actually in the end zone, so they're still going to stay with the shotgun. A little bit dangerous at this stage. He keeps the ball himself. He runs out, sprints out to the left side, right sideline, finds some running room. He's taken down at the 24-yard line. Timeout on the field, 17 seconds left. Unsportsmanlike conduct called against Wilmington. Not going to make a difference at this point in the game, I don't think. I didn't see anything on the field, but maybe something happened behind the play. Ball's brought out to the 40-yard line. So let's see what Marblehead decides to do here. Clock is now running, 15 seconds. They don't have to come to the line of scrimmage. Clock ticks down. 5 seconds. And that's it. So, the Division II semifinal game goes to Marblehead High School tonight, 24-17. Teams will get together at midfield. A great effort by the Wildcats to try to get back into the game. They had a couple of options. So we want to thank you for joining us tonight. There will be a game next week. Don't know yet where it'll be. So we want to thank you for joining us tonight. WCTV's coverage of Division IV North football playoffs. And maybe we'll see you. If not before then, we'll see you at Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us. For Tom Pizzara, Adam Dusenberry, I'm Chris Neville. See you next time. Good night.